decisions
Okay,
were made.
we'll call the meeting back to order, and there was no decisions made in executive session. So did you have something else?
We need to set, contact point for the Kansas Historic Society for future projects to be done.
So would you want to do that?
The clerk's office will do that.
It's fine with me.
Okay. Do we need a motion on that then?
Yes.
I make a motion that we have the clerk's office do all the paperwork and stuff.
Second.
Okay, it's been first and second to have the clerk's office be in charge of it. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now, can we also check into whether we still want to be a historical building?
I don't think you have a choice.
You don't have a choice?
Once you're on it.
Once you get on, you're on.
Sure, it's easier to get off.
Okay, well,
Okay. Let's see.
that's it. Okay.
That kind of leads into you guys. What we've found out with the Kansas Historical Society, since the courthouse is a historic building, we have to go through a process on projects. We need to have a plan drawn up, pictures taken, what's gonna be done, and submit it to them, and they try to look at it within 30 days.
So,
30 days
I-
of what?
Of submitting it to them.
Okay.
I think what we're saying is that they're basically the ones that are in charge of it, the historical society, and not us. Which I kind of agree with Roger. It doesn't make any sense that we wouldn't be in charge of it.
See, I thought it was if we didn't make any, like, permanent fixture changes, but I,
Well,
We haven't
the
worked.
plaster that needs to be repaired has to be repaired by someone that is approved by them. They have a list, they've given me a list of people in Kansas, but also in Colorado that can come and do it. Yeah, but
And then if you get approved, we're finding this out. If you get approved, then there's probably grants there because they want it to be
done their way.
done their way.
Well, I
And-
know we went through that on the band shell
Yes.
when I was on city council. And, yeah, it was kind of like, once we got that all done, then they said, King's X, let's strip it all down and redo it because we think that there's some stuff on the inside of the walls that needs to be redone. They had it completely done. So we said no. And
Right.
that's the way it got left. So I know how the Historical Society.
Well, that's, I guess, you remember when we had problems with the steps out here?
Yes.
That's when they become a historical building because they got a big grant to put them back in the original steps. Back in 2002, is that right?
yeah,
Are you guys are you familiar with a guy by the name of Lynn Chamber? I think he's the one that actually helped complete that project. And he's a family friend of mine. I've been in contact with him. And he's a licensed or whatever, approved restoration specialist, I think is his title, for Kansas Historical Society. And he's done the band shell, he's done those steps, he's done a lot of projects around. And so he's kind of the one that I've touched base with before we even started any of this to see where we were at with that historical buildings and that kind of stuff. So I understand where they're coming from and want to do it right, but
So what can we do to help? Besides put more work in your office, and I apologize.
they're gonna need, and I don't have it with me right at the moment, I can forward you. They're gonna need a drawing, well, if there's, I don't know about a drawing, but they need pictures. What you're gonna do, and all that, and then we can. get
Like
that.
a schematic type thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
and, like those panels, probably
Yeah.
need a drawing of what you're thinking on those, so.
you mean the placement and all of that, they need that? Okay.
I'd be surprised if they're gonna let you do that, because it's gonna damage the plaster, lath and plaster, but we can find out.
Can I ask you, when you bring that up, and I'm not, this isn't meant to pick on anybody, I just want to know, when they redid the sheriff's office over there and they hung cabinets on those, how did that work with the Historical Society?
I don't think that was checked into. See, when I became clerk, what I was told is you could do stuff on the inside, but you couldn't touch the outside. Well, that's not what, it's the inside and the outside. I mean, they have an actual inventory list of our lath and plaster, of brick, these floors, woodwork, everything, so.
So they've never really seen or checked on that project?
Well, in your case, I would think that there has to be some type of thing that says it's not for beauty, or you're not changing it for that reason. You're changing it so people can hear, and,
Or function?
you know, it's
And they'll
a
take
legal
that.
thing.
There's more than
Into
one way to
account.
skin a cat, because
Right.
it's a little crass, but we can provide them a couple of options and say,
Well-
we really do need.
Well,
need
I
a
think one
solution.
thing we're thinking about is, there's a $25,000 fine if you do
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
and it's
found
not
out
Make
about
right.
them mad,
If something's done.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're concerned.
absolutely,
I mean, we don't wanna stop the project.
right.
We just wanna,
Go through the.
Stay out of
Make
it.
sure we do it correctly, yeah.
I
Right.
think they all understand there's always a procedure.
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
just,
have to
we
go
just,
through.
and what brought this up, we're needing a bigger generator to run the 911 system and all the computers. Started to put a generator in, they wanted to start drilling the holes. And we went,
In the
whoa,
building, yeah.
and start adding conduit, and we're going, we better do some checking before we can,
So did you have to go through the Historical Society?
we're
for that?
going to now.
Oh.
We
'cause you
stopped,
have
we
to
stopped
do
the
those.
project.
Yeah.
So, Scott, if you can get us a list of things that we can do to help, and I'm happy to assist with any of the grant specifically for
And they had one
upstairs. or how we
suggestion
can-
on maybe on those panels, and I'll forward that on to you guys. And go from there.
Okay.
Yep. So as far as the bid process goes, do you feel like that stops it or what?
Yeah, until you find out, I mean, the way, because you had, with the bid, that you had them fixing the plaster, correct?
Well, yeah, I think that was the description that we put in.
They may make them,
Well,
Yeah,
it
it
was
would-
the
it
one that
was-
was in the paper.
they may want somebody that's approved
Yeah,
by the
Did you
Historical
have a bid
Society.
submitted?
yeah, there's one here,
Just one.
just one. So,
So do we need to reach out to them and let them know it's
let
kind
them
of
know that we're gonna have to
for now?
restart the process, and
Will you let him know, or do we need to, or?
I can.
Okay.
Whatever. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Don't know what you don't know. We learned something new today, and we'll kind of come in line.
We
with-
learned this today too.
We'll come in line
I mean,
with
Scott
whatever-
was the one who found it out, but
Yeah.
it was because of this generator project.
Better to know now than 25,000.
Which we were gonna check anyway with this project, but, so,
Okay.
it's,
And you were talking about, maybe if we get it approved, we can get a lot of it through, you were gonna work on grants.
And we have some supplemental options as well, but if there's something specifically through, I've looked and they have a couple of options. I think the one that would be most applicable to us was due March 31st, so we missed that by a hair, but we can, I'll be happy to coordinate with Scott and see what we can do to help through the process and, okay?
So within 30 days or within 30 days?
the way it's stated is, once they receive it, They'll
plan.
try to have it looked at within 30 days.
I gotcha.
Keyword try.
Definitely someone else's.
You're
stuff.
dealing with the state.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to get this ASAP. I mean, I think that our, well,
Yeah.
personally, I'll speak for myself personally. I would like to get this as soon as we can, you know, and not drag our feet on it because it has been a while, obviously, and that courtroom does need painting. And I feel like the other part of it, if we can get the okay from the Historical Society, is a necessary component too. So, yeah.
I will plan to coordinate with Scott and we'll
Okay.
see you back here in 10 days for budget planning. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, are you ready?
We're up already?
Do you need to wait for somebody?
No, no. I guess, first off, we were just wondering where we're gonna proceed on the recycling stuff now that Roger passed away. And we was gonna have Roger and Willie look into it and stuff, and I know that's a lot for Willie to look into. I don't know. And yeah, I know you've had some issues too, so we understand that, so I don't know.
I tried to contact his son, Travis,
Yeah,
so that I could find out if he's got any of the names, stuff that I can call, because he had all the names. Or maybe I called Lynette Kuhn also to see if I can get somebody. And I also need to either put in the paper or something, somebody who wants to help me do this.
yeah, that's what I was wondering too, if we need to appoint somebody or find somebody that'd be interested in researching it and see
Yeah.
where we can go.
Because there's a lot of people that want it, but not too many people that want to get involved in
Yeah.
working on keeping it.
Yeah,
So if you know of anybody who wants to do that, can help. And I'll still keep contact with Lynette and see if I can get the paperwork from Travis to find out some of the contacts, because I never had any of the contacts or anything. I was leaving that end up to,
I'll try to check with Travis too and see, time that you've been trying to get a hold of him, see if he can get that, see if he can find any information, I don't know.
yeah, I'm sure you had a folder there somewhere where,
Yeah,
who we could contact or,
yeah, because Roger was really into it, so I'm sure he's got a folder laying around somewhere up there.
that's what I was thinking. Because I talked with him just briefly on it a couple times. And I was having problems and
Yeah.
so was he. So we never got a chance to sit down actually and start the ball rolling, but it seems like it's be in my court for now.
Yeah, and I can't off the top of my head think of that one person either that would just jump in and want to help. And they're all interested in what's going on, but when you say, well, help us help, you know how that is. So,
Would it help if the city maybe ran an ad to see if anybody's interested to contact City Hall or?
Yeah.
And then that way maybe, if there's somebody interested,
Yeah, or they could contact me also if they want to. I could talk with them, I'll meet with them and talk with them. But like I said, that was kind of a blow with Roger passing, so,
yeah. We'll see what we can come up with for maybe a volunteer that would help with doing some checking into it and see where we go from
yeah,
there.
and then I was relying quite a bit on some of the stuff with JR also. He's also gone.
If you got questions that need to be answered by JR, let me know.
Okay,
I'll get a hold of him.
all right.
I'll get a hold of him on that part. I can do that. And and then Amanda printed out,
I was hoping Leslie would be here. We're trying to keep properties cleaned up and keep town looking nice, and I know like with the tax foreclosure sale, As far as the redemption period, and I know that she's always waited the 3 years, and if you look at the second paragraph there, it talks about abandoned structures. The redemption period is actually just 1 year, and we were hoping that we could ask the county's help in, if we know of houses that taxes are delinquent, utilities have been shut off for a year, if we can't get that ball rolling quicker than the 3 years. Just because by the time you wait for taxes to be delinquent for 3 years, you're pushing into 4 years before it goes to tax sale. And the city can go clean it up and assess it to the taxes, but then if nobody's paying the taxes, the city's just doing the work ourselves So we were just hoping we could ask the county's assistance in maybe getting some of those properties. Somebody's deceased, there's no probate, they just sit there instead of sitting there for close to 4 years, that we could get them maybe on the tax sale a little bit quicker.
Yeah, because
For that statute.
I think on something like that, we'd have to ask Leslie because she
I know, and
knows
I
more of
didn't realize-
the,
yeah.
she's not here today as you.
But we
as you
just
know.
want you to read that and look at it, because the bad thing is, if that house has been sitting vacant for a year or longer, some of them's longer than that right
Yeah.
now, but the ones that have been sitting vacant for a year, and then we have to wait that other 3 to 4 years, you know what's happening, they're going downhill.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day they're sitting empty. So the sooner we can go, and some of them we can't go sooner
Right.
because they have paid taxes or they
Have utilities. whatever.
utilities, but we're just talking about the ones that we know have had no utilities hooked up to them for a year. So they've been abandoned. And more than likely, they've got lines that are busted, frozen, whatever, all kinds of issues. And so, just, if you look at that paragraph and see if those kind of buildings we can move forward on a little quicker. Let Leslie look at it and see. So,
Can we contact the homeowners and ask them, or the property owners, or is that not working?
We've got one in town that the guy's been deceased and there's no probate and the kids moved away, and so it just sits there. There's another one that we just started property cleanup that we're trying to reach out. They don't live here anymore. Utilities have been shut off since March of last year. So we do try to reach out, but in some instances, they're deceased. There's no, they're just sitting there.
and some of the properties have got property cleanup letters and they're not doing anything. So they've been notified. But you can look at it, it's nothing that we need a decision on today, but we just thought that might help us on some properties before you get that third and fourth and fifth year, they've really got run down then, so.
Yeah. And
Okay, well, that's all we had, we'll try to see if we can find somebody to volunteer and help you out, really.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Could we go into executive session for 5 minutes? For non-elected personnel?
I make a motion, we go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel.
Scott and Amanda, I'd like you to stay if you would.
Okay, it's been first and second for 5 minutes of executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay.
Are you gonna fire me?